beloved viewer. It is yet again an exciting episode of the Youth Voice Show here on Hope Channel, Uganda. Hosting this conversation tonight, my name is Edison Masereka. I'm a teacher, leader, and a public speaker. Somehow feeling unsafe because I'm the only male on this panel. I'm having 3 ladies, and tonight we're going to be discussing gender-based violence. And to help us unpack this conversation, I'm having Annabelle Asime right here. She's a media personality. She's a journalist. Then I'm having Miss Lian Chitimbo, who studied creative multimedia. And then finally, I'm having Miss Deborah Cantono, an engineer, certified engineer. Great to have you guys on the show.
Thank you.
And, thank you for coming back again. We are discussing gender-based violence. I think perhaps this explains why we have only females, but it also happens to men. I'm going to ensure that I am the men's mouthpiece on this conversation. There are very many misconceptions surrounding gender-based violence. If it's something that only happens if it's something that is only physical, when there's no physical aspect involved, we tend to think it's not violence, right? But we forget that the psychological bruises can actually take long to heal. Yeah. But also, the reality of it in us, in church, in our relationships, is perhaps something we tend to deny. And the people that are going through it don't express themselves. But also it happens online. And somehow we have validated some practices that are actually not good. Some young people have gone as far as accepting certain things in their lives, and they have become as normal. If people are just in a dating relationship and you have someone who is shouting at you, but you're saying, but he loves me, but that's how he is.
But he's just angry.
He's just angry, something like that. So we are going to be demystifying gender-based violence, and we see the reality of it, and especially as young people in the church. These things are amongst us, right? Church is a hospital. People come with different problems. Violent people. What are these people? These people called toxic people. We do have them in church. So what comes to your mind? Is it only physical? It comes to gender-based violence.
Thank you, Edson. I think it's not just physical. It's, as you mentioned, it's a misconception that is only limited to physical. There is more to gender-based violence. It's emotional. For example, threats, coercion, like you're being forced to maybe do something you're not comfortable. Yes, please, yes. You're forced to comply against your will. Yes. It's quite a broad. It's a broad scape. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Do you think it's something that only happens out there? It's actually something that we live with. We might talk about something maybe in the movies or something out there, and as Christians, we are okay. Are we really safe?
We are not safe. It's here in Uganda, for example, Esther Busiku from Westminster's Foundation for Democracy, in a study in December 2024, it's like a research. There is something that was mentioned there about the misconceptions of what actually is gender-based violence, and the fact that the police reports indicate and try to, how can I say, twist it, and just instead of, they colorate it with domestic violence. Yet gender-based violence is quite broad because it happens to both men and women. Yes. Here in Uganda, here in your district, here in your town, here in your church, everywhere. It's everywhere. And the fact that people know nothing about it or are subtly ignorant about it is quite dangerous. It's alarming.
Yeah, and I also think that we are living with it in a way that it might be more of emotion, no? Because you might not see anything evident around us, but emotionally people are dying and being squeezed in a certain corner because of this same issue. Yes.
What do you have to know about gender-based violence? It is that it is harmful. No one expects it to come, and no one is prepared for it. So it can come anytime, it can find you anywhere, and we can't say that it is good or have been there waiting for it to come. So it usually affects people at any time.
Are there trends online that seem to normalize gender-based violence, but we just laugh them off?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, trends that induce or prompt body shaming, the cyberbullying. You get to see that there are guys that are being bullied on social media. Why? Because maybe they have a hairy body, or maybe they are too skinny. And same applying to the ladies. They are maybe too short, too small, too brown, too colored. You know, when you're biracial, it's also an issue. You see, and you're a tomboy, it's also an issue. You're too much a girl, that is also an issue. So it's everywhere, and on social media, it just gets worse. Yeah, because of the trends and everything. Yeah.
Anything else that we seem to normalize on social media, but it's actually gender-based violence?
We usually see news, watch news, where in different aspects, especially because we are looking more at on the ladies, the woman and the girl. This comes back to us that some ladies or some girls are forced to do something which they are not expecting according to their age. Now, if we talk about that marriage for the young girls, some cultures or some places, they think that is normal because for them they are gaining. Now, if you look at the people who are poor, poverty can cause that. We have a girl, she has grown. Now what next? Maybe we give her out for us to get something which can sustain our life. So that makes maybe some people to think that, I think it's usual. It's normal, or you can't gain anything from it.
There's also something I need to understand, like, can I be doing gender-based violence when I don't know? Because I can make a post and it is gender-based violence in some way, but I do not know. Maybe I'm just doing
you're just sharing
fun.
a meme.
Is it possible?
A meme for fun, but it's actually...
And I think we should bring out vivid examples, because we can't be talking about gender-based violence, but we don't know what are the specific examples that might be trivial, but it's real gender-based violence. Because I may not know that this that I'm doing is actually gender-based violence.
Let's talk about things like control, insults, and threats in relationships. And this is in marriages, in dating relationships, and even platonic relationships.
Yeah.
Like, you have people who are overly controlling, too overbearing. They will insult you, they will call you names, but also they will threaten. Manipulation, kind of manipulation, threatening you to do things, to give in here and there, or not to do certain things, threatening you not to pursue your dreams or something like that.
In relationships, like, it can come from the gentleman's side. Some can be overruling, and some even beat or slap or quarrel, because after all, they're going to be your husband, and maybe they have put in so much, they are providing. But what we should be cautious about as youths out there is that some things are red flags. Yeah, what you're bearing now, it's going to be 10 times in marriage. So if someone can slap you now, it means they will kick you in marriage. So we need to be cautious
now, when
that
they're supposed to be putting up a good impression. And
do not neglect the red flags, because it is going to become worse. Then also, I also thought about the emotional side, because sometimes we focus on what the bad things the gents are doing, but then also the ladies, because we said it can also be emotional. I'm really seeing this case of someone's emotions being hurt in a way that there is something that ladies can turn out to be seductive, but someone can come and seduce someone, but then at the end of it all, they know they're not going to do anything, and they also know it very well, which is because we know that we are supposed to have the boundaries and abstain and all that. But now someone is putting someone in a certain situation and then they want to leave them there or hurt them in
Like they're teasing
such
them.
a way. Yeah?
Like they're teasing them.
Yes, like they're teasing them. I feel like this does not have a good impact on the gentleman's side. Yeah? Because if we know what we are doing, like why would you tease someone yet you know that their feelings, their emotions are all involved in this situation, but then after, that is not also good. I feel like it tortures. Yeah.
And to add on what Deborah has said, in marriage, in dating, there is there is gender-based violence. Why? You can find a man comparing his wife to other women. A wife comparing the husband to other men. Which is quite, it's something that shakes the men's ego, and as well women, our emotions are everywhere. I mean, you're comparing me to another woman, other women? Am I not enough for you? It's kind of like it shakes you, and then with
feel
the
I'm
men,
not good enough.
Exactly. I mean, if you feel like I'm not good enough, I mean, you can, you wouldn't have bothered to, It's that is gender-based violence actually, and there are many women who can be like, you don't have enough money. Look at the other one. He has a flat. Look at the other one. He drives. Look at the other one. He travels across, the world and everything. That is also gender-based violence. Why? Because you're taking this man, because he's the man, and you feel like he's supposed to be like the other men, and the other man, and the other men, without seeing their potential and the struggles that they're having at that particular moment. Yes.
And that usually leads us to domestic violence. If you start comparing your husband or your partner with another person, then that is the cause of the domestic violence in our home.
They may get annoyed and even throw you out or beat you.
That's when you fit in a window.
Yeah.
But also this kind of control and threats. If you love me, do this. If you love me, you can't do this. If you love me, you'll get me this.
That is also gender-based violence. Yeah.
Because it can also torture when the woman is demanding much, or when also the man is demanding much, and you're not in position to, or you don't feel like
it feels
because
like
even in this stage where you have not yet committed, if those demands because you have freedom of speech, leave alone marriage, whereby at least you're supposed to make sure like you fulfill what someone wants, but here you have the freedom to choose whether you can or not, because you have not yet committed, and someone is forcing you to do something. So sometimes when you feel like, you may feel like you're not good enough if you fail, or someone feels like if they are not being given what they want, then they should leave you, which can end up torturing you. It threatens the relationships also.
I've heard of people being threatened. For example, guys threaten the ladies, and maybe as you mentioned, that if you love me, you'll do this. I mean, there is a lady I heard about, she threatened the guy she was dating, and they were not married yet. Like, if you plan on marrying me, you have to stop talking to your siblings. Why? The siblings, I think, saw some attributes that were not appealing to them. Now, her point was, I'm not dating them, I'm dating you, which is logical. But I think the gentleman was not thinking on his own, was being influenced by a lot of outside energy. So, yes, that is something that happened. And I remember them breaking off because the man was like, this is my family. You can't just be comparing yourself to my family. And the woman is like, I'm going to be part of your family. I'm going to be your family. So you might as well find a way to manage all of us. Yes, this is all love for you, so manage this love. Yeah.
Interesting. About in the workspaces, what are the realities of gender-based violence at work?
At work, gender-based violence at work, you realize that some ladies can be vulnerable, and they are either at the mercy of their bosses or other workmates. Especially, you can be a new person at a workplace, but someone can threaten you in a way that they are creating that environment whereby they are so much above you. And I've also heard from someone who was threatened by someone who was not even working in the company, but since they saw a new face and it was a lady, someone came and started asking her questions. How do you love our place? Is our food good? Is our salary enough? Someone talking to her like they have some big powers in the company.
Trying to intimidate her.
Yeah, to intimidate her. But then since she thought maybe this is someone who is, I should respect him because I do not know him. But it turned out to be like this man was just threatening the lady. He used the fact that she was new to threaten her. So people face most of those problems in case they are new at a workplace, especially the ladies, because gents have a way of coping up easily and fitting in.
To add on that, I've seen issues of women that maybe breastfeeding and they have to leave their children at home, maybe with a nanny, and then they have to report for work, and then maybe they have how can I say, they notice some things maybe here on the breast and stuff, and then it's wet, and then everybody's like, everybody, what is that? Why are you looking like that? Everybody's trying to shame them, for being a woman, because that is not something that happens to the gentlemen, It happens to ladies. That it's not something like, oh, I want this. It's just a situation that they've not been with their children.
Also,
or a baby
there
for a
I
while.
also see at that point, some ladies that have babies. Sometimes having a baby can let others put you down. Some people that can also turn out to be gender-based violence because I have a baby, there's some things I can't do. Maybe my baby has messed up something. I can get tortured because you're seeing me in a bad way. Yet having a child is not a bad thing, but because something has happened, then you make me feel like I wish I did not have a child. Yes, that
And
is
so
bad.
it also comes out at the point with the payments. Like how can a person who has just come into the world, into the field of work, earning more than my salary? So they find themselves collapsing about that. So, and for you get that fear. Maybe someone will start embarrassing you about simple things, about the way you talk, maybe the way you are behaving, to put you down.
Sure, yeah.
So it really hurts people, like in such a...
The aspect of silence, you realize that very many young people are actually going through these things, but they actually don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Why do we tend to keep quiet when you're going through such deep things that actually even perhaps threaten our very existence or our mental well-being or something like that, but we can't speak about it?
I think sometimes we are judged. Yes. Because when I talk about what has happened to me, you think that maybe I should have reacted differently. So that fear of being judged will make me keep quiet.
How do you say that you refuse to perhaps give in to a boss's demands for a promotion or something like that? But like, are you out of your minds?
Yeah, so someone thinks you should have reacted differently. So when you tell them how you reacted, they be like, what is this?
They reacted this way.
Yeah, so that fear of being judged will make me keep quiet and not say anything.
I also believe there is not enough awareness of gender-based violence and how there is mostly a misconception of what really it is. People feeling like it's mostly physical. I mean, there is a lady, I will not disclose her name, but she mentioned, she stated that as long as he does not beat me or slap me and he feeds us, I'm okay. That's how she stated that, as long as she's not being beaten. And then later they were interviewing her and she said, but the times when he comes back and he's angry and he yells at me and he calls me these names, and people are asking her, the counselor was asking her, so how do you feel? Because I feel sad, I feel demeaned, I feel totally unloved by the person who claims to love me. So that's when it hit her. They told her that is gender-based violence.
And also, some people fear to lose their positions. You might find out that you have a big position at work. You just say, let them talk. Let that be like that. because I'm earning. If I
As
move
long
out
as
of
I'm
here,
earning,
as long as I'm
it's
I
okay.
don't
Anything
mind.
that-
But
Yeah.
also, even if it's a relationship, perhaps in a relationship with benefits, and somehow this person is facilitating your lifestyle, and perhaps you feel like you don't want to lose the benefits, and then you have to.
take that in.
Sometimes we think of how am I going to start again?
Like, wow.
That foundation again with 2 kids.
Like, again.
How do I start, going for new dates and meeting a new person altogether?
Yeah, even also like how do I start getting a new job in case I've been violated? Yeah.
And so
It's
we end
crazy.
up tolerating that toxicity in these environments or from these people.
Yes, and the
Yes.
fact that our culture is such a profound thing in our lives, it's such a factor that we are, as ladies, we are raised to comply. I mean, be humble. I mean, women are supposed to be humble. And then, and then the tolerance comes in, and then you tolerate and you be totally understanding, until you you lose yourself in the process because you're not aware of certain things and you're not embracing certain challenges. Yeah.
They always have that in heart. Anything which begins has an end. Maybe I'm suffering now, but I know in future things will
Suffering
change.
is part of life. We end up validating it, right?
Exactly.
Things will change, but like if you're doing nothing, things may even worsen.
Yes, making everything worse. Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, there's also that hope that maybe he will not. Maybe this is just a season.
Maybe she'll get
but sometimes
better.
we need
Change,
to act
right?
if we want change. Yes.
And in workspaces, there are reports about bosses that when they're reprimanding their employees, there is a way they reprimand the gents and then the ladies.
It's selective.
Yes, please, it is selective. It's tough on the gentlemen, and then with some ladies, as long as, you do better. It's a soft tone, and then tough on. So there is a
So
clash.
meaning they're violating the men.
Yes,
Yes, by
because-
treating them that way. It can also be common elsewhere. Can be a class and the teacher maybe cannot deals with the ladies a
Soft-
different way. But then
soft,
the
yeah,
gents, I can beat you, I can chase you out of my class, I can do what. But then it tortures them.
And
Even
then you
the
find in
students.
some workspaces or other spaces where women are not given space for growth or competence. Their competence is branded lacking because they're just women. They feel like women have a lot of things to work on. I mean, you're supposed to be a wife, then a mother, then a sister. Like, you have a lot of things to work on. You can't just do something this good, There is that. Like, you're labeled as inferior. Yes, it is, but even in the workspace, yet you find that some women can do something good as a man can, like maybe on a project, maybe teamwork and everything. But you find that in certain workspaces, there is no such thing as teamwork. If it is, then it is very minimal.
On that note, we'll take a quick break,
Okay.
and then we return shortly with more of this conversation. Welcome back from that very short break, and this is the Youth Voice Show here on Hope Channel, Uganda. We're discussing gender-based violence. During the break, we discovered that actually men suffer more
Do they?
because always the physical aspect comes in after maybe a series of insults, threats, and all these different things, and it's what can be seen. So it's not always more of it.
Okay.
And the men in most cases react by actually physical assault. And that's quite rare. Don't we then think that the men suffer more psychologically from the women's side?
Now that you think of it, now that you talk about it, it actually makes sense because by the time someone decides to be physical, then there is a lot of background work. There is a lot of things, subtle things that happen.
Background pain.
Yes, background pain, disappointments, a lot of things. So by the time it gets physical, I think then the subconscious is like tired. It's like, no, now this is it. This is it. Yeah. I feel now I'm understanding your point. Yeah. Yeah, men really do
Yeah,
suffer.
and for the emotional bit of it, men suffer more because it is very easy, I think, for ladies to shout out when they are going through something, but then men swallow it painfully, quietly. There might be words, and sometimes by the time the man maybe becomes physical and beats the woman has said a lot of words.
And men tend to withdraw,
Yeah, and
They
the
go
words
quiet and
the words have been so hurting, and swallowing those words really tortures someone emotionally. We also see it with even just boys. They might be going through something, like just a young boy, but they can't say it out because they're growing to this manhood, and they believe maybe they're not supposed to
men
say.
should always be strong. A man, how do you show emotion? A man, how do you show weakness?
Yes. How are you weak in such a situation? So they end up being tortured
So even
emotionally.
at workplaces, men are being tortured and they're going through it, but they can't talk about it.
Yeah.
How do you say she shouted at you?
Like, what do you mean? Are you a man or not?
And that's how men look for other avenues to make them happy. So you find that this now becomes a vicious circle, that they will go through this and then maybe they go into alcoholism. Maybe they are very annoyed and depressed because of what a girl has done or how he has tortured his mind. Then maybe he goes into pornography because he'll feel, the dopamine. He wants to feel at least happy after doing something. So they end up, other actions can come along, dirty ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's...
In our youthful age, like for example, I'm 20 and my brother is 20. At home, they'll favor more a girl than a boy because they can say, you can do something and earn something into your bag, but a lady they fear. And if you have money, they always ask, where did you get the money from? You are not working. Why did you plant new hair? Where did you get the money from? And they always say that men usually keep quiet because sometimes if it's your dad, whom do you think he had open to? Like, I'm suffering with this. The wife is doing this. Sometimes they feel ashamed. You find that she remains with a problem, no one to be told, and finds ways, as she has been saying, of going through that pain. They always tell us that men emotionally are hurt during the when the lady is almost producing all its savings. So you find that man sitting somewhere, but inside emotionally he has a lot.
That's
of
why when you even look at just the statistics of men into such actions like the drugs, pornography, it is so high because it is like a coping up mechanism after being tortured.
I know of a boy who was talking about, he was aggressive. He had a hockey sport and rugby. So he'd be so aggressive, he would hit all his playmates. It would be more than a game. And then when he was interviewed, he took us back to when he was a child. He would see his father be totally mean to his mother. Like just some busato annoying glances. She's putting food on the table and he hits her hand. Or what kind of food is this, This is what you've prepared. You see, so the boy grew up trying to understand why the father would not understand or appreciate what the mother had prepared. Or like nothing would be enough for him. And I think there's a time maybe he stopped loving her. No one would understand because the boy would always get confused. Why? I mean, these are two people that are my parents and supposedly in love are my parents. So he saw otherwise. Till he would see his father hit his mother. The times he would enter a room to check on his mother. Maybe he's taking things or asking what chore would he do next. And he would find the mother sobbing or with bruises. Maybe he would hold her like this, a tight grip, and it would be bruised. So that's something that traumatized the boy. So he thought violence, he would not be okay with it till the dad started hitting him as well. So as he grew into a man, it was like violence. Violence is a way out.
Just normal.
It's a way out. I mean, I'm hungry, I'm tired, I'm hungry, What do you mean I'm hungry and there is no food? Like, what do you mean? So he would feel like violence is the answer. Violence. So that is just a result, the end result, because they started as subtle things, emotion, because he was explaining how he would feel sad, he would be deprived of love from his parents, the mother would try, but this is someone who's now an adult, who's had to feel all of those things from when he was a boy to now that he's a man, now that he's like, now violence is the resolution.
Yeah, so it recurs from when someone is young because they have learned by example from what they have been seeing as they grow.
Yeah.
So it goes along with them. It's hard to heal from such
It's challenging,
torture.
yeah, true.
And it can also follow the kids that person will produce because the environment he was in, he kept on adopting it up to when he was.
So it's a pattern that should stop.
Yeah, that should stop, and it stops with you and I, because if we carry it on, because when you hear such stories, because a lady was saying her story of how the dad used to torture them as sisters, because he wanted to always sleep with them when they were a certain age.
Oh my.
And he would want them when they were young because once they would go into their menstruation, he knew he would make them pregnant, and then he stopped. But when you stress the history of his dad, her dad was raised by a drunkard, a woman. She was drunk, but the woman used to come back to the son and want sex from the son. So when he grew up, he gave birth to daughters, and he, instead of breaking the circle of what happened to him, he also did it to his daughters. So sometimes it is circles recurring, and it must stop. If it should stop, do not say, I was treated like this by my parents, and then I'm doing this to my children.
Wow.
Yes.
That's quite profound.
Is jealousy and control fine if we love someone?
Fine. Control. Control, no. I feel like when you love someone, you should just guide them. The control bit is, now you see, there are many things we don't have control over. Now there are certain things we have control over. For example, my body. I have control over my body, mine. I don't expect, for example, hypothetically speaking, someone I'm partners with, maybe my boyfriend or someone I'm dating towards marriage, to decide for me what I should do with my body. That is a decision I have to make on my own. And if they are to pitch in, it should be guidance. I need guidance. This is a personal thing. I believe guidance is always welcome, because with control, a lot of things come with it. It comes, now it just happens that some people have aggressive personalities. There is someone who's going to come with control, an aggressive part of control, which is uncomfortable with a lot of ladies. There are many ladies that complain, like, he's controlling us. And at times it's not even the bad. I mean, at times their definition of control is, he checks on me every time, he asks where I am, those things.
And it's overly too much.
Yes, it can be overwhelming. I would say overwhelming. You would need some space, personal space. Like you gentlemen, wouldn't you want some space? Would you want someone be hovering over you?
Everywhere you're going, whom you're meeting, and
you might as well just put a GPS in me and be following. You just on your screen are like, okay, she's here. Oh, he's here. You know, you should. I think that should be controlled. Can I say controlled control? No, it doesn't make sense.
It does.
Moderated control.
But I think then also it makes more sense to value trust above all things, because you realize that if I'm overly controlled, because I think you might be cheating, you might be doing this and that, it might be me, because I know that you might do this.
And now from the lady's side, it's more of jealousy.
I'm getting,
Or why is her number in your phone? Or why did she text you? Or why would you take a picture with her?
Trust. Because if I know that you're someone who is faithful, really, because pictures will come. You know, you go and maybe preach somewhere, then people are taking pictures everywhere. But why would I become that suspicious if I know that I can trust you and you can trust me? Because if I can't trust you and you cannot trust me, of course I'm going to have, why is this person calling? Why is this one texting? Why is this number saved like this?
Why is it that this time of
trust
of
can
the night
put away all those
What I know, we are a bit different.
Okay.
We have different characters, different personalities and temperaments. So it matters which person are you with.
Yeah.
The contrast you always make, how deep do they go? Because there are some ladies or there are some men who will say, don't move out of work without me picking you. Don't board a taxi, don't use a what. I'm the one to do what? Drop you home and to bring you at work.
I like the sound of that.
I think it's also being, especially when it comes from a point of his insecurity, it's really being too much.
Yeah, but sometimes it comes from a point of love.
No,
We discuss about it.
But also, I think in this case, it comes from a point of being too protective. Right?
There is need for space.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to give person room to be who they are, right?
True.
And especially, and I think, and there's a problem when such begins in a dating relationship. When no one has full jurisdiction over you, but they want to dictate how you live your life and affect your individuality,
Which is
just in a
oppressive.
dating relationship.
Oh,
and I think that's a big red flag.
I
right?
think it's not worth
Individuality
it.
should be guarded.
I mean,
Yes.
we're just dating, but you do not want me to call anyone female.
What?
Even at church, you are all over me. I
Like you're
think
hovering
that's-
over everybody. Like,
Why were you talking to that one? Why were you standing with her after
the
church?
choir.
You're talking to her too long. Please cut it.
Yeah.
That's being too really too much.
Yeah, there is a man who worked in an office, but when he was at home, he got an injury on the foot.
Yeah.
So when he had put the shoes, the office shoes, he felt uncomfortable because he had a wound. So he bought steppers to be comfortable. Then when he was coming back, he was like, since I'm going to use my car, why should I again put on the what? The closed shoes. When the man opened like this and the lady was seated there, was like, "Kulikayem bachalabo." You get that? Now, if you're not having another home, where did you get those steppers from? It seems you have somewhere else where I do what? So it can affect the family also negatively.
The
Just
projection,
imagine
is
it's
it?
you have
You
been
see,
at
a man
work.
has been welcomed like that. He's tortured.
Is this toxicity love?
No.
Is this being overbearing love?
No, it's not love. I don't think
It's not.
It's something, we ladies, sometimes we don't take time to think. We react immediately.
it's challenging to be
Yeah.
rational.
How can you welcome back someone with such a word?
Just that
They
she
have
was
been
like, after realizing
tortured.
that the man had an injury, he was like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know."
After
But
saying
after saying the other one, so it really affected the family. And the man said, like, maybe I've lost trust in this man.
And I really think if someone is being too protective, too overbearing, too controlling, they need therapy, not love.
it's therapy.
Things like he does this to me because I'm the only one maybe who understands him, or he needs therapy, right? He needs counseling. I don't know, but you are not the solution to him. We have to admit that we have limitations as lovers, and perhaps you won't be the one to change him. Someone is beating you, someone is punishing you, and in the name of love, but he loves me, but he cares, he provides.
They are on beating. Why are you beating me?
And sadly, young women have accepted this.
Yes, because he's angry. I made him angry. He's tired. He's stressed. So it's like he's unleashing that on me, the one he's
And
claiming
it's
he
okay,
loves.
That's a big.
That is
big,
all
big
sides of
problem.
wrong, I
And
believe.
we ignore these things, and then young people are going to get married, and the pattern continues in marriage, and then we start blaming marriage. We start blaming all men. We start doing all these different
Because
things.
sadly,
We didn't pay attention to these red flags, right?
the hard conversations, those uncomfortable conversations. There are many things that we should talk about in the dating stage. It's just that we just rush and feel like maybe it's like we've been sent for an impromptu meeting. Nothing should be impromptu. I think you should. I like thriving in uncomfortable conversations. You know why? Because I feel like if we have them, I don't think we should waste any more time going back to that place. If anything, we should just be refining, furnishing and stuff, what we already talked about. But once you just jump and feel like this is okay, you conceal. Now, anything that is concealed, you see when you conceal, anything can remove maybe anything you've put on the skin. You conceal, but it comes, it hips. By the time that thing explodes, the subconscious is what? Because what? You've been, understanding, and you think you're strong. You try to bear a lot of things, yet it is overwhelming. And the body, the mind can really play tricks on you. when it's overwhelmed, like there are a lot of things that are happening, it will feel overwhelmed and it will just burst in your face.
But also you won't die if you walk out.
Yeah, you won't die.
I mean, you won't die because you left that job that is having a toxic environment and it's taking a toll on you. You find another one. I think it also comes from a point of self-doubt, a point of self-insufficiency. You don't feel like you're good enough to get into another relationship after this one. You don't feel like you're good enough to land another job after this one, and so you're keeping yourself in an environment that is taking a toll on who you are because of these fears.
For the sake of being safe.
Yes.
Feel like safety. But
And
it's
even,
not safe as
even
such.
if you break up, maybe you are moving out of a relationship, sometimes it's hard to just fall into another relationship because you usually need that time to heal. So that person can sit down and feel like, I don't know where am I going to start from. That's what makes people to be working or to just move on or to just say, let me be here for a sake. You have children in a family. The man is always beating you. The husband is always beating you. That violence inside. You say, let me keep quiet because for the sake of my children.
And he's an elder, can't
Like, how do I start? Will they even believe me? They won't. They'll be saying I'm exaggerating. Won't be the one who's getting all the blows, both physical and emotional.
Emotionally.
So we must also learn to speak out.
It matters.
Because sometimes, like, even these issues that happen in a family where we should keep quiet about everything, there are pastors that can guide and counsel. Even the very same person who counseled you into marriage, that pastor who wedded you people in church, you can open up.
Find safe spaces.
Yes, safe space to open. Because if you open up in a wrong place,
Not all spaces are safe. Yeah.
So you need to open up in a safe space.
And how about setting boundaries?
I'm backing that one. Now with the boundaries thing, I believe we should be intentional. We should be intentional with the boundaries that we set in our lives. For example, I'm dating someone. They're interested in me, I'm interested in them. There are certain things I want to put across while we are still dating. Why? Because I don't want to sit there and I'm like in regression. I'm like, I wish I said this, but I didn't because I didn't want to hurt his feelings. I mean, maybe he's so kind. Oh, he's good looking. Oh, he's Seventh Adventist. He's Christian, you know. And I'm like concealing. I'm like, no, I don't want. No, he's Christian, and you know. Yet I'm leaving a lot of important things that I would rather them be comfortable now than later be so oppressing, you know, which damages the marriage later that we are heading to, yeah? So I feel like when you set boundaries, you're like, this is me. I'm like this. For example, I'm expressive. Now, you can meet someone who is not okay with you being expressive. Like, what do you mean you're expressive? You're a woman. There is a gentleman who told me who told me that. Like, what do you mean you're expressive? Are women expressive? And I was mind blown. I was like, and meanwhile, I was not being disrespectful, no? I just like to speak what's on my mind, and not entirely, because there are certain things you leave to yourself. But if you're someone who is interested in me, I want you to know me. Yes, I want it to be exclusive. Like I want there to be a difference with other guys. Yeah, not that they're bad and everything, but I want you to know that when I'm mad, I'm like this. When I'm tired, you know, there's certain things that you just can't ask anyone in a crowd, and they're, you know. Yes, so I believe there's certain things you have to set boundaries on. How your reactions. There's certain things like deal breakers for you. Like, I'm not beaten. Like you don't beat me. You know.
You don't shout at me.
You don't shout at me. What do if you want? For example, if you want to shout, please, you would have adopted a dog.
Even a boss has no right to shout at me in the workplace.
It's a real crime. You report that. Because why are they shouting at you if they knew you're professional? They would have just gotten anyone on the streets. If they're a bit like, what do you mean? You would have not married me at all. I mean, you told people you love me and then you marry me and then you're shouting at me, you're hitting me. Like, what do you mean? Can't we do better? Let's meet in the middle, you know? Yes, those are some of the things, however pressing they are, you have to address. Yeah.
Thank you. Boundaries? Anything?
Yeah, you have to set boundaries because there are some things which you're not supposed to do in public. As long as we have a close relationship, as long as it's something good or something expressive, there is someone can even ashame you in public, and you feel you have lost your self-esteem. There are some people who always talk even without thinking and regrets after speaking, thinking at all. So I think now, for example, I don't know whether you have been seeing, there is a video which has been moving, a man who slapped the lady.
Wow.
In public. Just imagine it. There were men in the room, but slapped him. However much also the lady was on another side, but only that one showed the behaviors of a man.
Wow.
And even if it comes to you and you saw that video, you can't say that maybe I'm not in with this person, because they're separated with the lady, and seriously he has to look for another person. But if you discuss about that, at least you can slap me from home, but not in the public.
At least from home.
No.
way.
Even if we are two in the room, you do not slap me.
way.
Yeah, so you say that one is like this.
I think nothing necessitates
Please,
a physical
You
reaction.
people know.
No matter what a person has done.
Yeah.
No boss should shout at another person, no matter what they have done. No lover should slap or beat another
To me,
person,
this
no
is
matter
so
what they have
basic.
done.
You just cannot slap me. You
No-
just
no
cannot
reason.
slap me.
Yeah.
Whether we are in a closed room, no.
And you see, at least this one who can slap you when people are seeing, because they can help.
Yeah.
But now the other one who wants for you to come up with wounds, then you start saying the window knocked me. You fear to say that one is the most dangerous one, because they can do something even more hurtful. But me, what I have to say about boundaries is that we should set boundaries on our individuality, because yes, either being married to someone or being in love with someone does not take away your individuality as an individual. God's creation, you know, we have that value on us, so our individuality should be guarded.
And even in marriage, right?
Yes.
I mean, even in marriage, we are still two distinct beings. This person has a
are
career
one
to chase,
now.
right? This person has a career. There's men who say, "Oh, now that you're not pursuing this." But this person is a distinct being, right? And you're supposed to pursue dreams and grow and progress and things. Those things do matter.
Yes, I know.
Our relationship does not sabotage, but the plans must blend.
Yes.
Of course,
Because
the plans
you're two
must
people
blend. Of course,
moving
there are
as
things you
one.
agree on prior, but you don't say, okay, now me, I want my 8 kids, if we just stay here.
I know.
Forget about working again.
Like just forget
I
about
will
it.
take care of you. I mean, there are women who want that.
Yes, they are.
But for a woman who wants to grow, who has visions and dreams,
Especially
I think
in
those
this
are questions you should
generation.
ask.
Yes,
What
I mean,
he
we've
thinks
studied.
about a stay-at-home mama, and he's giving you allowance for being cute.
And respect to the home mamas, respect. But
And that's okay.
Yes,
That's okay.
it is.
But what I'm saying is, you might be a person who does not want that.
Exactly.
But he wants it. So let's have it discussed prior. That does not become a point of contestation once you are there.
Taking away the peace,
Yes.
taking away the comfort. Yeah.
And then the marriage is all destabilized, disorganized, because you never talked about this. And then it
Yes.
starts becoming, the manipulation comes in. If you love me, now you have to do this. If you love me,
You don't love me enough.
Yes.
Like, what do you mean? I've met many men that are so proud of their women, their wives. Like, she's my wife, she's doing this, and then the woman is like, he's my husband.
That's the ideal.
And I'm like, this is amazing. And I'm like, this is really great. I mean, we should push each other in a. You have to be someone who understands your purpose and
yes.
is a purpose enabler.
And a person who works with you to build it, right?
Yes. So that to serve God together.
Yes.
Yes, as two individuals, but as one.
Oh, yes.
Yeah? You get your talent, you get your, and you merge.
Yes, you don't stop her from going for that annual retreat at her workplace or annual because how are you going there? It's when I'm not there. How do you go for that party when I am not there? You're my wife. But that's her workplace. You can't go with her, right?
Yeah.
I think this is quite pertinent. But most importantly, we have to find amicable ways of addressing these things.
Yes, before it gets to the violence part.
Yes, before it gets to the violence part. I think communication is very key.
It is.
In all relationships, platonic, romantic, at work.
Be self-aware.
Yes, if I know that my report is going to delay, let me tell my boss.
Yeah.
That he doesn't have to shout at me at that.
And the challenges you're facing.
Yes.
You might not know where you're living.
Let me explain.
That you don't have power.
I am coming late because I shifted, and where I am, it's quite a distance, and that's why these things are happening.
Exactly.
We should learn to voice out what's going out in our lives, but most importantly, have people we can confide in.
Yeah,
people
true.
we can confide in. We don't have to go into that depression, in suicidal thoughts or something like that. Our lives do matter a lot, and the emotional wounds leave deep bruises that perhaps can take some bit of time to heal.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, the physical one, it might go,
away.
but once you're broken mentally, it takes a lot to have it fixed.
The
So,
subconscious mind always
yes.
bottles.
And God wants us to be happy people.
Yes,
God wants us
healthy,
to be
happy
to be
people.
healthy, to enjoy, to love, and to hold, and to be in flourishing relationships. And it's important. Gender-based violence has no place anywhere.
no
No matter
place.
who is doing it, no matter where it's happening, it has no room in the lives of God's children.
Yes, I implore you to have those difficult conversations. Please, before it's too late, just have them. Thrive in the difficult conversations. Yes.
Thank you very much, friends, for this conversation. Thank you for your submissions, your time, and for sharing your thoughts here. It's been very educative, and I believe that our fellow young people out there have learned something to build and better their relationships, and perhaps to get out of patterns that break them and sabotage who they are supposed to be, and perhaps they'll be making better decisions. Thank you so much for following this conversation and for being part of it. You can like, comment, and share across the different social media platforms of Hope Channel Uganda, especially on YouTube. Leave your comments, like this show, share the show, and see you next time for our next episode. From myself and the rest of the team here at Hope Channel Uganda, bye-bye. See you.